All right, let's talk about what Chris Paul got going on in Phoenix. What is he going to win in Phoenix? Because there's a rumor that he will be waived. Phoenix Suns ownership and executives had a series of conversations with Chris Paul and his reps on the all-star point guard's future with the franchise, including the possibility that he could be waived by the NBA's June 28th guarantee date on his contract. So the Suns insist that they're still working through several possibilities for Chris's future and reiterated that to his representatives that later they plan to explore trade opportunities, and they also will include potentially DeAndre Ayton in those conversations. Now, they're basically stuck. Salary cap purgatory, as they say. Oh, we don't have a lot of options around here. Now, you got to start ranking what's most important. Devin Booker, 1. Kevin Durant, 1A, 1B, or number 2, whatever you want to say. Then you look at Chris Paul, who you don't want to get rid of, but you're like, well, Chris Paul is 38 years old. Chris Paul is off injured when you need him most. And Chris Paul's production has gone down every year he's been with the Phoenix Suns. Now, the pushback on that one is, if I'm his rep, dog, we got Booker. I'm not the go-to guy in scoring. You got Ayton when he gives you full effort, or y'all on the same page. He's a guy that we got to pound down in the low in the paint. And then it's me. And then you add Kevin Durant. So guess what? My production did go down, but at the same time, it's for good reason. Let's just say that. So, when he got there, 16, 4, and 9, and then last year's dropped all the way to 14, 4, and 9. So it's like just little, but you start to micromanage when you're trying to get over the hump, because all those little things matter. To do it big, you have to do all the little things, which includes ranking your future Hall of Famer in terms of point guard. So right now, only $15.8 million of his $30.8 million for the season is guaranteed. Interesting. Kind of saw this coming. Think about that. When you sign in the big deal, you're like, yeah, I'm good. And then they're like, oh yeah, Chris, look at that fine print right there. Well, it's kind of bold, but whatever. Right above your signature. That year, 24, 25, non-guaranteed. 23, 24, half guaranteed. You're fine with that, though. I mean, come on, you're Chris Paul. You're going to just keep playing well, and we're going to do amazing. So go ahead, just sign it. And that's what happens a lot of times. Now, Chris Paul, for president of the Players Association, sees this with his eyes wide open and is betting on himself, obviously. But at this point in your career, 38 years old, you got to also go where you have that security, where you have those guarantees. So Chris Paul continues to want to return to the Suns and partner with Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, obviously. But you got to explore those options. And he just said to them, summation, I hear y'all. Y'all got to do your business, right? You got to be prudent businessmen. I get this. You got to be responsible in here. Well, let me be responsible to me, myself, the corporation of Chris Paul, the basketball player. If you can make this decision sooner than later, I will take that respectfully. Like, I basically want you to do me a favor. If you're going to let me go, you don't have to wait to June 28th, because as you know, in free agency, man, these teams, not all the time will wait for you. Sometimes, but a 38-year-old point guard who's been hurt when you need him most, you might not even wait for Chris Paul. But if he's available, obviously you're interested. So Chris Paul does not want to come late to the free agent party. Makes a total amount of sense. So all this said, are the Suns making a mistake even looking at this situation like they are, right? Are the Suns making a mistake in terms of waiving Chris Paul potentially? Are the Suns even making a mistake by dangling this in front of Chris Paul, right? Think about how it can mess with chemistry. Think how it can mess with the mindset. And Chris Paul is strong-minded, so we ain't really worried about it, but it's a conversation. DeAndre Ayton got affected by it. Remember when they were playing with his money, then he almost left, and then he got his money, but then the effort was a little up and down. Maybe that was just a Monty Williams conversation. Maybe it wasn't. Here's some good questions I want to see in the comments. Which team makes the most sense for him to join? And don't be lazy. Don't be simple. Don't just say the Lakers because him and LeBron James best friends. Don't do that. Like, right? You got D'Angelo Russell there playing point. We know he's good enough. And you're not going to disrupt it for a 38-year-old to team up with another 38-year-old to do that whole dream team thing again in 2004. It ain't going to work. So let's just be smart about our response to that. And will Chris Paul ever get that championship is my conversation. Damn, it's crazy. You can see guys who are amazing, all in, top 5 ever as a point guard conversation, and no ring for you. Obviously, that doesn't help the legacy. It could damage it. And is he a top 5 point guard all time? Let's get some fun in these comments because you got Magic. You got Steph. You got Isaiah. For me, you got John Stockton. And then you're like, all right, I got to throw one in for my daddy. You know, I love him. Big O or something, you know, Oscar Robertson. All right, daddy, all right. Y'all ain't had YouTube, but damn it, I seen something. It was in black and white, though. Then you got Jay Kidd, Dame Dollar, Steve Nash. Where's Chris Paul ranked top 5 all for you? I want to know, is he in your top 5? Or do you have him ranked somewhere outside of that? So Chris Paul, a lot of moves in front of him. Let's see where they all go and where he lands.